you want to be great, age doesn't matter. Not everyone's gonna like you. It's part of the process. I can't smack you in the face because you're not my little cousin. Be the person that has something to say instead of being the person that always has to say something. I can't see, it's so blurry. Can you join from your phone? Maybe that might be better. Oh, that's so much better. Good God. Thank the Lord. Apply some force. Well, actually, don't break it, but apply some force. The top part, not the bottom. You're in the bottom.
That took way too long.
Alright. Yeah, you took twice as long as it took me, so
yeah.
Up until there.
How old were you when you did it?
I was 15, 16.
He's 13, about to be 14.
Yeah, I'm 13.
So, don't if you want to be great, age doesn't matter. If you want to be great in the real world, hold up. Let me say something. In the real world, you're going to be 19 years old going against 50-year-olds, okay? They're going to be 3 times your age with more experience. And are you going to use that as an excuse? No. You're going to man up. You're going to get your stuff together. You're going to acquire the skills. And you're going to be great. I don't care if you're man, women, barbecue sauce, whatever you identify as, all right? If you want to be great, okay, you will not use age, lack of experience as an excuse. You will level up, you will boss up, and figure out what it is that you need to do to be great. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, now let us continue.
Snapping. I can't even. It's like I can't say nothing. This dude is snapping right now.
So you had a question, Lorna?
Yeah, how do you get people to listen to you? I'm a cheer captain, right? When the coaches are gone, like they make me like lead everything, but the girls just have the worst attitude and they don't like to listen to me and they think like I'm bossy and stuff.
I think this is all right.
And they don't like to listen to me for some reason.
How do you get people to listen? First things first is you got to show respect. I went on a speaking tour last week and I spoke to like 4 different high schools, 4,000 kids in total. I talked to one of the kids and I was like, why do y'all act so bad? And they were like, sometimes I feel like the teachers don't respect them and therefore they feel like, all right, if you don't respect me, I'm not going to respect you. So first you got to come to the table respecting them. You got to give respect. In order to get respect, you have to give it first. Don't come into it thinking you're better than anybody, because you're not. I'm not better than nobody. I don't care if it's the janitor or the CEO of Apple. I'm not better than anybody. So first, I try my best to make sure that I give respect. And then second, have something to say. A lot, especially high school kids in this generation, we can tell when you're BSing and when you're just saying stuff or when you have something to say. Like, there's a quote that says, be the person that has something to say instead of being the person that always has to say something. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have that one friend that always just talks just for the sake of talking, but they never say anything. You have one of those friends?
Yeah.
All right, you don't want to be that person. You want to be the person that has something of value to say that makes sense and people will then actually listen. And if you do those 2 things, I feel like through experience and through time, they will start to trust you more, and then therefore they'll will listen. But understand, because like you don't already have that, it might take a month or 2 or a couple months to get to that point. But again, show that respect, have something valuable to say, and don't be afraid to lead people. Eventually we'll get to the point where they'll listen to you.
I have to lead them in like stretches and our cheers and stuff, and like they'll get mad at me for some reason. And I'm like, I'll be respectful, and then like they'll be disrespectful. Like they'll start talking and doing other stuff, and I'll be like, hey, line up. Like it's certain girls that like are like not listening, and so every time I get them in trouble, they're like, oh, why are you only getting us in trouble?
Okay, here's what I like to do. I like to troll people, right? I'm not one of those stern people where you have to listen to me. I like to troll people. So when people are talking, when I'm talking, I'll just ask them what you talking about. I will literally troll them and be like, if I hear something like they're talking about ice cream, so what type of ice cream you like or eating or whatever. Like I like to I'll troll people to be like,
get into their conversation.
Right. Or that, or it's like, let's just say it gets too out of hand where I have to tell somebody and they'll be like, oh, why you get me in trouble? But then I'll give them an example. Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever babysat before? Or do you have little cousins? Have your cousins ever gotten annoying to you before? And they'll usually say yes. And I'll ask them, have you ever gotten to the point where you had to tell your little cousins to stop doing something, but they didn't listen, right? Has that ever happened to you? And they'll say, yeah, my cousin, they be annoying. They don't be listening. I be telling them to sit down and be quiet. And I'll be like, cool. So if your little cousin continuously does something that you tell them not to do and they don't listen, that requires you to take action, either a consequence, a punishment, or you telling on them, or you just smacking them in the face. whatever it is. It requires you to do something, because if you don't do anything, they won't respect your boundaries. So the reason why I had to snitch on you is because I'm trying to lead the entire group to do something so that we all can be on the same page and reach our goals. In order for us to do that, we have to do our exercises. But if y'all continuously are talking while I'm trying to get everybody in line, it's the equivalent of you being that bad little cousin that doesn't want to listen. Now, I can't smack you in the face because you're not my little cousin, and that will get me in trouble. But in order for me to get you right, I gotta tell somebody so you can act right. So I don't like telling people what to do. I like telling them what to do and explaining why they're doing it. Or instead of telling them, in this situation, I like to explain why I'm doing the thing that I'm doing.
I give them time to play around too, though. I just want to know how to get people to listen to me.
I mean, look, it comes with experience. You're only 14. I'm 18. I've been doing this since I was like 4. So I've had 14 years of experience with this. But it just comes with time. Some people just not gonna listen. Like, have you ever heard the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? Like, you can lead people to greatness. You can lead people in the right direction. But if they're not going to take action or do it for themselves, I mean, you can't really do anything about it.
I think the reason that some other girls don't listen to me is because they don't like me. But it's okay.
Hey, it's part of it. Hey, look, if you're going to lead, not everyone's going to like you. It's part of the process.
I think that's why. But like, I never really cared.
As you should or should not, I guess that would be the
As I shouldn't. If they don't want to listen to me, if they want to look goofy when we actually go to our games and when we have our performances, then that's on them. That's what I tell them. When they don't want to practice, I'll be like, hey, if you want to look goofy, if you want to look bad, if you want to look like you don't know what you're doing, if you want people talking about you, then you go right ahead. Well,
and the thing is, like, yes, you should be saying that, but like, how I like to do it is I do it in like depending on what mood I'm in, I will do it in I don't want to say funny way, but a way where it doesn't seem like I'm coming down on them. Because if you come down on somebody, they automatically think of either two people, their parents or their teachers, and they hate that. So I try and like do it in a way where it, like, they understand it, but it doesn't seem like I'm being a parent or being a teacher. I'm chill about it. I don't do too much when it comes to that. And you got to figure out what works for you, because what works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. But that just comes through experience and more time leading people. And what's going to happen is, like you said, they're going to look goofy when it comes to competition if they're not practicing. And one of them might be excellent at what they do and they don't need to practice. That's fine. But it might get to a point where like everybody else is following your directions and they're following what you're telling them to do and they're succeeding. And then because the girls that are acting up see the other kids doing what they're supposed to do, it might just get to a point where they might just follow along, because most people are followers. It's all groupthink. They do what the majority does. So if you can get the majority to follow what you're saying, then eventually the rest will just follow along.